Hello, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode. It is episode number 260 for May the 7th, 2024. Let's jump right into my current projects. I'm feeling a little better. I'm getting a little bit more into the groove for all of this, but I still haven't accomplished all that much, or not as much as I would like to accomplish, but I did manage to finish this Progressive Pride quilt. You've seen it in various forms before, but now it is completely quilted, bound, and everything, and ready to go. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I'll see if I can pull up a closer view of this. Just a second here. Let me see what button I need to push. Here we go. And there you go. You can see in here that my quilting, I found a pantograph, electronic one, a digital one, that's called Ribbons and Hearts. And that's what I used in the background because there is an expression that is used quite a bit in the LGBT community called, excuse me, frog, love is love. And I thought that was an appropriate design to use. Plus, because this quilt is very colorful, as you can see, I didn't want quilting that would overshadow the colors that are here, because really the colors are very important in this particular quilt. And if you don't know what the colors represent, this is the modern Pride flag. The original one, what everybody's familiar with, are with the colors purple through to red, the rainbow spectrum. And that represents most of the LGBT community, but the pink and the light color blue represents the transgender community, and the black and the brown stripes represent the colored community as well. And I think the white, I may be wrong about this, but I think the white represents intersexed people as well. And if you don't know what the term intersex means, well, look it up because I don't want to get it wrong. So everybody's pretty much covered in this quilt. So as I said, I'm very happy with the way this has turned out, and I think it's too big to hang on my front doors, which is what I kind of wanted to do come June, because June here in Canada is Pride Month, and especially in Ontario, because the month ends with the huge Pride Parade in downtown Toronto, which we don't bother to go to anymore because it's a bit of a zoo. Everybody and their dog is there. But anyways, yeah, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I did make an addition to this pattern that it didn't call for, and that's the thin white border that goes all the way around the outside of the Pride flag. I just felt it needed to be separated from the binding. Plus, if I put the binding on it without that border, the points on some of on the outside rows on the triangles would have been cut off. So yeah, I don't know why whoever designed this pattern didn't think about that, including it, but I did. So yeah, very happy with that, as I've said. Okay, rope bowls. Did a whole thing about rope bowls on So Chatty and why I think they're stupid. I'm sorry if that offends people. I really do. I am sorry. I mean, if you love a rope bowl, you do you. I don't. But I was suffering from FOMO, had to try it, so I did. This is what I created. It turned out okay. I did try to embroider in the bottom. You can't see that in this picture. That was a fail. But I talked all about that on So Chatty. So anyways, yesterday on my vlog, I talked about creating on the 3D printer an insert to fit into this so that you could actually use it as a planter and not have to worry about water leaking out of it. And I kind of designed the bowl a little too big for this rope part, but it would work. But right now it's sitting over in a corner. I got a few things in it, and I don't think I'm going to do anything more with it. Yeah, there are things you could do. I had thought, I could I know some people dye the rope beforehand, and that seems to work out okay. Some use a variegated thread, and that makes a different look as well. In the construction of the bowl, I did think, well, I could always use my embroidery machine, and I could make a series of freestanding lace flowers and butterflies and things, and decorate the outside of the bowl. I might still do that. I don't know. If I get bored, maybe I'll try that as well. And that would change the whole look too. So yes, there are lots of things you can do with these, but quite frankly, it's tedious to make them. It is. It's very tedious. I put it right up there with those jelly roll rugs that everybody was making a few years ago. I made one of those too. And I made one, and I'm never making another one. Why? Tedious. Boring. Not worth the effort, really. Sure, they're unique, but, like these rope bowls. Oh, everybody's excited about them because you can make them in different sizes and and you can change the shape slightly and all that kind of stuff. And everybody's talking about these making wonderful gifts for people at Christmas or housewarming gifts or whatever. Okay, but I can't see myself making a bunch of these because I think I would be bored to tears with it. Like I said, I find it very tedious. And if you want a rope bowl, really, go to the dollar store, go to Walmart. You can pick them up really inexpensively. Yes, it's not the same as making your own. I get that. But well, let me put it this way. It's like a quilt. If you're going to give somebody a quilt, or if you're going to give somebody a rope bowl, I hope you've made sure that these people appreciate the time and the effort you put into creating something like this. Because otherwise, no, they are not rope bowl worthy. Yeah. Now, having said that, I haven't given up on rope bowls completely. I'm doing something with my 3D printer, which I'll talk about next week on my vlog that involves rope bowl making. Okay, so do I have anything else on here to show you? Oh, yes, I do. All right, so we had the retreat, more about that on the weekend. And during the retreat, I had a little bit of time to work on this. And yeah, it turned out okay. It's an in the hoop table runner. It's called the Modular Seasonal Table Runner by Designs by JuJu. And I'm going to talk more about the pattern file for that later in today's episode. But I did get most of the parts done, and I put them together on Sunday. And yeah, it's colorful, it's pretty, it's kind of neat. The idea of this, why it's called modular, is that there's actually 3 different N designs that you can use, and there's some pieces in here that you can mix and match to create the center part. And I did the crazy quilt part. But if you look at this closely, and I'll blow it up for you so you don't have to have eye strain. See this? The join right here, it's off. Well, it shouldn't have been. It should have matched up pretty good. Like down here, it did. Reason I had a problem was when I started stitching out these crazy quilt-like blocks, these end pieces should have been the color that you see right now, because that's the inner border, and that's what is here on these pieces. But I did it in a different color. And I didn't realize that that's what those were. It was a stupid move on my part. So here I had these inner borders, different color from the rest. So it looked funny when you put it together. At first I thought I'd just leave it. It would be a customization, as we say. But I didn't like the look of it. So I ripped one of them out and took another strip of this purple, the right color, and sewed it into it, which was not a hard thing to do, but it was a little bit on and my word of the week this week is tedious. It was a bit tedious to rip those out. So I thought, why don't I just sew it over top? And that's what I did. And that worked. But here's the problem. When I sewed it over top, the stitching, it didn't end up lining up with the other pieces. So yeah, this thing is a little on the wonky side. Now, in this picture, you can really see that wonkiness. However, in real life, it doesn't really look that severe. And so if I ever gave this to somebody, and I don't know if I ever will, um, I would, give it to somebody who's a non-quilter, non-sewer. They just think that's the way it's supposed to be. But I would never give it to somebody who is an experienced sewer because they'd look at it and go, yeah, amateur. But anyways, I might make another one with some of the other designs. I don't know. The designs are kind of cute. They're kind of spring-like. We'll see. We'll see. This was basically just something I was doing to get my mojo back into sewing because COVID knocked it out of me. So anyways, yeah, that's that. Okay. Sorry that I keep clearing my throat. So what's happening? What's new? What's next? Well, Wednesday this week, as every Wednesday, Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen. Links in the show notes. So we had the Idiot Quilter Spring Retreat 2024. I had 91 people, and all 91 people showed up. No blacklisters on there, which made me very, very happy. There weren't any technical problems at my end. Anyways, I know a couple of people did have some connection problems because of various things that were happening with their internet connection, and that was too bad, but we persevered. We got through it all. And so that was great as well. That's why I was able to work on that table runner. It's the first time during one of my retreats that I myself have been able to do some sewing too, because usually I'm very busy troubleshooting, making sure everything's running smoothly. And as I said, everything did run very smoothly. I had two presenters, Stephanie from Stephanie Stitches, who did a brilliant presentation on the Underground Railroad and a block that is attributed to the Underground Railroad. And so she gave us some history and showed us how to do the churn dash block. And she provided a pattern, excuse me, for that as well, which everybody that attended the retreat received. And so that was great. Lots of nice comments about Stephanie's presentation. And then, of course, on the heels of Stephanie's presentation, we had Shannon from Slay Arts, Shannon Way. And Shannon did an equally brilliant presentation on foundation paper piecing. And she had an original design that she had created for demonstration purposes. And she also provided that pattern free to all the participants of the retreat as well. So I want to say publicly thank you to both of these ladies. I'm very happy to call them friends as well as colleagues in the creative world. And yeah, they really made the retreat, in my opinion, a success. So thanks again, Stephanie and Shannon. And do check out their YouTube channels if you have never been there. And I can't imagine anybody who watches me that has not been to Stephanie Stitches or to Shannon's Slay Arts. The links to those are in the show notes below. Also, both ladies have posted on their channels their presentations as well. So those of you that didn't get a chance to attend the retreat, you can see those as well. Okay, so overall the day was great. I was definitely exhausted by the end of it, but in a good way. A good exhaustion. And yeah, so will there be another retreat? Of course there's going to be another retreat, not till the fall. So stay tuned. When we get, past the summer, I will be making the announcement for that as well and getting that all set up. So if you have suggestions for somebody that I might contact to be one of my presenters, keeping in mind the big names out there are not going to do my retreat. I'm small potatoes. Okay, they're too busy, so I cannot have Jenny Doan on. I cannot have Donna Jordan, Angela Walters, any of the other ones. But if you know somebody else out there that you think people would be interested in hearing and seeing a presentation by them, drop their name in the comments below or send me an email, and I'll consider it. The other thing, too, that you need to know, too, is I can't pay. I don't pay my presenters. I would love to be able to, but I can't afford to do that because my retreat is absolutely free. And I do provide prizes and things like that, and that all comes from my own pocket, and I'm not bitching about that. I'm very happy to do that because I think it makes the day even more special. And my goal of doing these retreats is that people come and have a great day. That is why I do it. Okay. It is not to make any money. Well, I'm not going to make any money if I don't charge, right? Or not even for promotion of my own channel or something like that. It's just because I like to organize things, and I get happy when other people are happy with what I have produced for them. So yeah, so if you have a name you're going to suggest, just keep in mind, I can't pay them. They would have to be willing to do it free. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so that's the retreat. Now, just a little bit of a heads up, or advance notice, maybe that's a better way to put it. There's going to be a special live announcement on Stephanie of Stephanie Stitch's channel on May the 17th at 7 p.m. So check out her channel. Look for the upcoming announcement for that, May the 17th, and tune in. And that's all I can say. I have been sworn to secrecy, and it kills me because I'm a bad secret keeper. If you don't want anybody to know anything, don't tell me. But my lips are sealed. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Tune in on May the 17th. Okay, and something else you may want to tune into, 2 other events this week coming up. The social review with the Fab Five. Fab Five are Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches, Shannon of Slay Arts, Russ of Quilt Meets World, and Walter and myself from the Idiot Quilter. And we get together once a month on YouTube as a live, and we usually have a topic we discuss. This week's topic is, what's your favorite cannot live without tools? Things that you invested in and you're very glad you did. And what are some of the things that you invested in that became complete duds? You never use them, you wasted your money. That's what we're going to talk about this week on the social review. And you're welcome to join in on the conversation because this will be a YouTube live. The upcoming thumbnail is already up, and so that's the link. And it's on my channel this time. We rotate channels every month, so I'm the host. Walter and I are the hosts for this. And it's tomorrow night, Wednesday, May the 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope you can join us for the social review. Also on Friday, Russ of Quilt Meets World is having his 1,000 plus subscriber bash. And that's a YouTube live as well. So go to his channel and you'll find the upcoming link there for that. And you'll also find the link for it in my show notes below as well. So feel free to check those 2 events out. Okay, so let's move on and talk a little bit about the So Chatty series. Walter and I have started a new series about the AccuQuilt system. We did our first session last Friday. Many of you tuned in for that. It's not a live, so you can go back to the recording and check it out for yourself. And it's our intention to tell you all about what we have learned about using an AccuQuilt system over the last couple of years since I've owned it. There are lots of videos on YouTube, I'm quite aware of that, including AccuQuilt themselves that do videos all the time about using AccuQuilt. But here's the problem with many of those videos. They just tell you the nice rosy picture of how to use it and what it's like and all of that. And yes, I'm very happy with my AccuQuilt system, but there are some quirks, some things that need to be discussed that you don't really hear about, especially from the company that manufactures it, because they want to sell it to you. And there are some tips and tricks I've learned along the way using my own too. So that's what this series is all about. We just did an overview last week. This week we're going to get into more of the nitty-gritty about cutting fabric and things like that with it. So tune into that. That will go up on Friday. Now, I just this morning, well, I'm about to actually enroll in something that I heard somebody on one of our Wednesday Sewing with Stephanie and Stevens talk about. It's something called Sewing Doc Academy. And basically, they will teach you how to fix your own machine. It looks like an excellent program. It's a series of videos. It's on demand. You do have to pay a fee. But it looks like exactly what I've been wanting to do. Hiccups now. Frog in throat. Hiccups. Sorry. Anyways, I'm investigating this, and they wrote back to me, the company. It sounds very, very good. Not a bad price for the program I'm looking at. I think there's a special price right now. I have to check that out. But once you do the exchange, it's a little over $200 Canadian. There are videos to help you decide which program you want to be in, and they're doing a sort of a series of videos starting tonight or today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time about all their programs and everything. So I'm going to be tuning into those as well. But I'm definitely think for sure I'm going to enroll into this program, and I will keep you informed about this. I've wanted to learn how to take the cover of my sewing machine off and get right in there and do the deep cleaning and the oiling and the adjustments that normally you would take your sewing machine to a technician for. It's not because I'm trying to save money on this kind of thing. It's because I'm very fascinated by the inner workings of a sewing machine. So I'm hoping that's what I will get out of this program. So I'm going to do some more research on this, and I'll keep you informed as to my progress with this. Okay, that takes me to Subscribers Quilt of the Week. This comes from across the pond, from France, from one of my friends and subscribers, Nadine Logan, who lives in around the French Riviera, I believe. And we have seen some of her beautiful creations before, and here's another one for you to enjoy. This week's quilt from a subscriber comes from Nadine Logan, who lives in France. And Nadine is a regular subscriber here to the Idiot Quilter, and also is a regular participant in our pop-up sew days and in Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen. And she sends along these pictures of, it's not a quilt, as you can see, but a pillow. And this is what she writes. I'm sending you photos of my first reversible pillowcase. This explains why I'm sending you 2 photos. No pattern, just me having fun with all my 1.5-inch squares. This is my first scrappy project, but controlled, because I'm a lot, in control and organization. At first, I just wanted to do something with all my 1.5-inch squares of fabric, but in the end, I preferred to choose and sort the colors. So I only used the blues and the low volume ones. It is entirely hand quilted and closed with a zipper hidden in the binding. My daughter, Allison Lynn, made it her own before it was even finished. Thank you, my friend, for all the Wednesday evening sewing time that I spend with you after a long day of work. And thank you for all the pop-up sew days, which allow me to move forward with my projects in very good company. Merci, Nadine. Well, this is a really gorgeous pillow. I love the use of the small squares that you had from your stash. And it turned out absolutely gorgeous. And let's take a look at the back, if I can find my cursor here. And here's the back. And the back is just the back is just as lovely as the front. So yes, this truly is a reversible pillow. So whatever grabs your mood. But I really, really love the colors that are in it and the design. This is very elegant. So thank you, Nadine, for sending this to me. So, yep. Absolutely lovely quilt, and I know Nadine is working on another one. I saw it laid out during the retreat on her kitchen floor, and it looks fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that when she gets that finished as well. Okay, so that takes me to the YouTube clip of the week, and This one is a great one because it's talking about freezer paper. Freezer paper magic, 5 sewing hacks every crafter needs to know. Uh, and the title says it all. But you know, freezer paper is not just for the freezer.
This week's YouTube channel clip comes from Just Get It Done Quilts, Karen Brown, and everybody knows who Karen Brown is. And if you don't, well, you should be watching her because she's full of lots of really great tips and tricks and techniques and interviews and things like that. But this one caught my attention because right now, of course, foundation paper piecing is all the rage. But a lot of people don't want to do it because of all the little pieces of paper that you have to pull out after you've got everything together. And it can get very, very confusing, especially when you're doing something very complex, which is what foundation paper piecing is designed for. However, she shows you a method that I think makes life a little bit easier, and that's using freezer paper. And you may have heard this method before. She did not create this method. It's been around for quite a while. And there are other videos out there about using freezer paper. However, in this particular video, she shows you 5, she calls it 5 sewing hacks every crafter needs to know using freezer paper. So she goes beyond foundation paper piecing and shows you some other uses for this very handy kitchen tool. Now, it's not always easy to get your hands on freezer paper, I have found, and I kind of stockpiled it way back years ago when I first got into quilting. And foundation paper piecing isn't one of my favorite things to do. However, there are a lot of other uses for paper piecing or for freezer paper as well, especially if you like to do applique. So if you want to learn how to do some interesting techniques using freezer paper, then I would check out Karen Brown's Just Get It Done Quilts Freezer Paper Magic video.
Now, future project is future past because I've already done this project. I didn't realize before I created this episode this week that I would have it done in time for this episode. So you've already seen it, the Modular Seasonal Table Runner. It's a design by JuJu, it's called, and it's in the Hoop project. And so even though you've already seen the finished product, here's my description of the actual file pattern itself. This week's future project is one that I can do on my embroidery machine, and it's called the In the Hoop Modular Seasonal Table Runner 2 by Designs by JuJu. I love Designs by JuJu. Their patterns, their files, because they are usually very easy, very clearly written and easy to follow, and they're just fun. And also, this one happened to be on sale at the time that I bought it for about half price. But everybody needs a table runner or two, and I know lots of people like to change out their table runners depending on the season of the year, like spring, fall, winter, etc. Well, this one is basically 3 different table runners with a seasonal theme that you can make and switch whichever way you like. So you can see here they have one that's for the summer with the watermelon, and then you have let's go here. Okay, then you have one with a flower pot for, you know, that could be more fallish, I suppose. And then you have the watering can, which maybe is more springy. But depending on the colors you use too, you can make them whatever way you like. And I'm thinking you can probably mix and match your designs as well. Now, they do show what it can look like. I think that's a really cool design right there. And there's another one. And you could use probably scraps of fabric that you have in your stash to create any of these particular designs. So yeah, very nice, very versatile. And I think these will be fun to make. So I have this as one of my in the hoop projects that I want to get to very soon, and I can see myself making several of these and giving them away as gifts. So that's the Designs by JuJu in the Hoop Modular Seasonal Table Runner 2. Act now, it's on sale. So that takes me to online quilt stores for this week. And this week we're going to British Columbia and we're checking out Dragonfly Quilting and Gift.
This week's online quilt store is located out in BC, Canada, and it's called Dragonfly Quilting and Gifts. And so this is their front page right here. So they have all their basic social media connections here. And they say they have free shipping on orders over $199. And for $12.50, they ship anywhere in Canada on orders under $199. So actually right off the bat, that's pretty good prices on shipping, I think. They have Quilt Guild and Sewing Groups exclusive sale items, new products, and proven must-have items. And they're showing here some of the things that they have featured or on sale. They have their calendar right up front. They have Cheryl and Friends, everyone welcome to sew with new friends. Open to anyone, just come and sew with all like-minded people. Bring your own supplies and lunch. So it looks like open sew days. And extra caffeinated design boards. So there's a class on making design boards as well. I don't know if they offer other classes as well, but they might. And product categories down here. New products, notions, mystery box, batting, 90-inch wide cuddle. Acorn pressing solution, and their fabrics and batting and kits. Well, let's jump right into their fabrics and let's see what they have to offer. So on the left-hand side, they do have sale fabrics, and they have 30% off, 40% off fabric collections, quilting cottons by color, batiks, wide backs, panels, and Tula. And brand as well. They list some of their brands too. Okay, so let's get into the fabric collections. And they have the last ones standing, whites on whites, muslin, groovy garden, animal alphabet. So yeah, they've got a lot. They're all listed here along the side. Let's check out their prices on, well, let's see. My go-to is often Northcott. I only saw the batiks by Northcott that they carry. I'm just looking for other names I might be familiar with. Well, we can take a look at Tula Pink. $21.95, I'm assuming that's per meter. And that's on the upper end of the scale, but then again, it is Tula. So let's pick another not so popular one. Bare Essentials. Oh, it's on sale though. $15.37 a meter. That's pretty good. But I'm just trying to find one that's, you know, kind of a standard. Well, here they're showing all of them below. So yeah, on sale $15.37, then $17.95, $21.95, $15.95, $17.95. So it looks like they range between $15.37 a meter if it's on sale, right up to about 21. And they've got 53 pages of fabric, so that's probably a pretty good selection, I would say, there. Okay, they do have wide back, so let's see what they're charging for wide back. $34.95, $31.95, $32.95, $32. So all in the, with the exception of this one that's on sale, it looks like they're in around the $33 to $36 a meter mark, which is upper end as well for price. They don't have a lot to choose from, 12 results, so, and one of those is sold out. Okay, so let's take a look at, just out of curiosity, they've got a lot of batiks. I love batiks. $15.95. A lot are sold out. $15.96. $17.56. So yeah, that's okay price for batiks. It's a little bit on the lower scale, not by much, however. Okay, let's check out now. They have panels, but I'm not seeing pre-cuts, at least not in this listing. Let's see what's up here on their main. Yeah, it looks like they don't really. Oh, what did I do there? I didn't do anything. It did it. Okay. Oh, here we go. Pre-cuts. Okay, pre-cuts takes me here to notions into everything. Kits, thread, patterns, books, pre-order, gifts. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't look like they've got much in pre-cuts, like nothing at all. Batting. See what they charge for batting. Again, we're back to this. Okay, so looks like they sell it on their batting sale. It looks like they're pre-orders. 80/20 Pellin. Not much of a selection. And let's see, 30-yard roll, $375. That's a little pricey for 80/20, 96 inches wide. They're all 96 inches wide. Yeah, not impressed with their selection in batting at all. Anything else? Well, they do sell notions, but everybody does. Thread. Let's see what brands of thread. They have Glide, Decobob, Aurifil. They do sell pre-wound bobbins. Okay, let's take a look at Aurifil and see what they're charging for that. $850 for the 200 meter, $72.95 for the 5900 meter. See, do they have what I usually buy? And okay, they do have 50 weight in the large spools, $72.95 to $79.95. Well, that's a little bit up there, and not the world's best selection either, for that matter. Okay. What else can we look for? They have a mystery box, notions, kits, Villa Rosa kits. Okay. Again, lacks a little bit there in selection as well. So fabric selection doesn't seem too bad. Prices on fabric don't seem too bad, but anything else they seem to be a little scarce on. What do they sell for sewing machines? Okay, it always goes back to this. I do not like this. Uh, okay. I'm not seeing sewing machines here. Nope, not seeing sewing machines unless it's searched by manufacturer. What's that? Nope. So I'm really not sure why it is that they have sewing machines, but they don't really sell sewing machines. So the website itself isn't bad, but it needs some refinement. Things don't go where you think they're supposed to be going according to the way they're described. Let's check out their classes and retreats. So they have a calendar. And at the time of filming this, it is April 30th. And okay. Okay, really, really nothing. Yeah, not the best selection of things there. So that's basically Dragonfly Quilting and Gifts. Um, it's okay. That's all I can say about it. It's okay, so maybe you'll want to check it out, especially if you live out in the BC area.
Okay, so what's coming up? Well, I've already talked about the social review Wednesday night at 7 p.m. I've already talked about Russ's 1,000 plus subscribers bash coming up this Friday at 8 p.m. The Churchill block sew along, which Stephanie and I are doing. That is not going to be a live presentation, but the first video should go up very soon. We haven't made it yet. We're getting together virtually on Thursday to start our recording of these sessions. And so watch for this. They'll be coming up soon on both of our channels. And Pop-Up Sew Day. If you're new to my channel, what is a Pop-Up Sew Day? Pop-Up Sew Day is just as it says. You never know when I'm going to have them, and they just pop up. Well, that's the way they started out. Now I give you more warning about when they're coming. Basically, it's a Saturday. It's always on a Saturday, and we spend the day sewing, working on our projects, quilting, and anybody can come to it. It is a Zoom. It is not a YouTube live. It is not recorded. It is a private link. And I already have a mailing list with people's names on it that when I decide to have one of these, I send them out the announcement a few days before and with the Zoom link. I also usually post the Zoom link as well in my show notes the week before. So it's there, and all are welcome. And you don't have to be there the whole day. I usually start at 8 a.m. in the morning, and that's Eastern time, but if that's too early for you, that's fine. Pop in whenever it's convenient for you. Pop out whenever it's convenient for you. You can pop in, pop out. I guess that's why I call it Pop-Up Sew Day. Or at least that's why I call it that now. So yeah, it's always a lot of fun. I am thinking this is tentative. It's not written in stone yet. But I'm thinking it's going to be on Saturday, May the 18th. Now, for us Canadians, that's a long weekend. That's what we call the traditional May 2-4 weekend here, Victoria Day holiday. But for you Americans, I don't think that's a holiday weekend for you. Well, I know it's not. If it is, it's not the same as ours. I don't know. Is that something in my head rings that you have a holiday in around there too as well, like Memorial Day or something? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not American. But anyway, so yeah, tentatively, Saturday, May the 18th will be the next Pop-Up Sew Day. Watch this space for a formal announcement. Okay, so that's it for me today. Check out the resources in the show notes and links that are there for most of the things I've talked about. And I hope you have a really great week. As I said, I'm hoping I'm going to get a little bit more accomplished this week. You can see behind me I have a couple of projects in works. And yeah, so have a great week. We'll see you later. Bye for now.